March 17, 2021, 2:06 p.m. Today I cried. Wait. Let the tears fall down my cheeks as I watch the Kangen water pour from the faucet hands, still working to clear away but still touch Mother Earth. Today I cried for the 8 slain by white supremacy, 6 of them women, Asian. Today I cried for yet another anti-Asian hate crime, but this time the culprit's face was clear as day. 8 slain by white supremacy, Ackworth in Atlanta, Georgia. Today I cried for the families who did not know it was their last day. For the children's parents who are never coming home. For the community baffled, still trying to make sense of it, still trying to see where the pieces fit, if at all. Today I cried for Asian women. For every Asian woman reminded of our place in society today and the history that reinforces it. I cried for every Asian woman who has feared for their life and the generations before us who were instilled this same fear. I cried for every Asian woman who has had to give up the fight, who has had to sacrifice their integrity for one more breath. Every Asian woman who has embodied martyrdom for her family, her community. I cried for every Asian woman who can't stand down from a fight, who bears arms and practices our ancient traditions for the survival of her people. I cried for every Asian woman who will never realize she is a warrior. I cried for every Asian woman who has spent a life fading into the background, too obedient to cause a ruckus, too alienated by American values and views to know their truest selves. I cried for every Asian woman crying alone in their kitchen today too. For every Asian woman who has not yet learned how to grieve, who still seeks acceptance from a system made to break them. I cried for every Asian woman still working today, still continuing, who can't even afford a moment to ask herself, am I okay? Am I okay? I cried for every Asian woman wanting to be held today, and for all our male counterparts who don't even know how to do that. For the immigrant, story, and refugee, for the fake promises of a better life here, the lives lost, ties forcibly torn, tears held back by a legacy of dams our elders built, mind and body widened, spirit screaming, hearts hardened over generations. I cried for the fact that for all my adolescence, I did not even identify as Asian, and now it is all that I feel. I cried for all the Asian people I never felt connected to outside of my Filipinxness, especially Asian women. I cried for the silent suffering that wields our shared sword in service to the model minority myth. It is a myth I have no interest in retelling to our next generations, a myth I intend to sever. Today I cried for everyone who didn't even bat an eye at today's news. I cried for the ignorance in our own communities, the fact that we still can't see how divisive we have become, the colonizer reflected back to us in the mirror, how proud we can be, often to our detriment. I cried because somehow we still find ourselves operating on a platform that is intended for capital gain rather than true embodied solidarity building. Today I cried because I didn't think my own mother could understand the compounded rage and grief I was feeling at the same time, and so I didn't answer when she called. Today I cried because I found out some of the most exciting news of my life this morning, that as an Asian woman, a daughter of Filipino immigrants, I was awarded a prestigious fellowship, marking my added value in diversity. That as an Asian woman, I was accepted into my first international film festival. But white supremacy still prevails, so what does it all mean anyway? Today I cried for my future daughters and that dreadful conversation I will have to have with them one day about their bodies, about their exotic features. about the way soulless humans have fetishized, commodified, and inflicted violence upon Asian women for the illusion of power, to create a false identity for themselves, because how far they are from ever understanding what it truly means to be human. How my daughters will have to toughen their skin in response to the weaknesses of mere mortals. I will tell my daughters their bodies belong to no one outside of themselves, and that any and every attack on the collective of our bodies is an opportunity to scream the screams our grandmothers never got a chance to cry rivers that reach into the heart of Mama Ocean, beckoning our essence of humanity to return once and for all. Today I cried because we have a hell of a long way to go still. But lucky for you, I am like my grandmothers. My tears are never for nothing.